I've turned my phone round the other way. I'm having an attack of benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, which I've had before, and I saw an ENT consultant a couple of years back who resolved it for me. It doesn't, you don't cure it, but he did some diagnostic stuff first of all, and then resolved it for me. And I've been, ever since then, I've been fine. It's been brilliant, apart from the last couple of months maybe, and I've been aware of it and ignoring it and fighting it, and it's really not very comfortable. And today I got up this morning in the early hours of the morning to go to the loo and fell back onto the bed because I was unbalanced. And then I tried to get up differently this morning when I was actually getting up, and actually made it even worse. It's very unusual, but today it's if I lean forward. So every time I go to use the keyboard on the computer or something, it's worse. And so I've been sitting reading for the last hour because that I can get into a comfortable position and just sit and read and not move, and that works. There's a manoeuvre I can do. I looked to see if I could find if I could get another appointment with this ENT guy, but I looked at the Google reviews, and we'd found him interesting, and the Google reviews reviewed him badly, and you just can't get an appointment with him. And I think he's completely overwhelmed with the hospital and appointments. And then if you look on DocLib, at the more ENT consultants in nearby cities, the first appointment you can get is December this year, but most of them come up for March and April next year. So there's just obviously a shortage of ENT doctors. So I'm going to have to do the self-help method, and I'm hanging on because unusually, because normally we're intermittent fasting, but unusually I've eaten. I think comforting myself with food because I am not very happy about my stability. It's really uncomfortable. It just stops you doing the normal things, reaching into the fridge, reaching into the freezer, sorting this out. I was going to make bean burgers today, and now it's like, not going to do that. I can't move quick enough to do that. So it's a pain in the arse. So the manoeuvre I'm going to do later, I'll be supervised by Mark, because just in case I get really dizzy or it makes me nauseous, because it's really unpleasant. So I'll get him to come up and supervise me, but I need to lay on the bed and turn my head, then turn my head again, and do various things. I think I've vaguely done it before for myself and it's worked. So I will do it because I really need to be on form this week, as I have been. That's what's pissing me off. I've been on form and now I'm not, and my sister's due any minute, and I'm so fucked off because I had plans, and I can still go ahead with them, but just more carefully. But if I do this manoeuvre later, I'll be fine. So that's that. We've just had another. I woke up early and it was raining. When I went back to bed, it was raining, and now we've just had another quite heavy shower of rain. It's really lovely having the rain. Very happy with that. The garden, the grass, or the dead garden really needs it. Ludo went over to Joe's house that she's going back to, that needs a lot of work doing on it to bring it back up for her to go back to. And he went over yesterday, and I know how quickly Ludo works and how much he gets done in a short space of time. It being Sunday, he would have only had between 10 and 12 to work anyway with anything noisy. Cleared her back garden. It's not a very big garden at all. It's a very small patch of grass. Cleared that, cleared all the rubbish from down the side of the house, trimmed out the front of the house, mended the downpipe, and took a load of rubbish away to the déchetterie. So pleased for her that he did that, because it's beginning to look like the house that she bought, and not one that's been trashed by the tenant. I think Vicky's going to start cleaning from tomorrow, The windows are in a real state. The windows are really dirty, so the windows will get cleaned. And I've been sort of having conversations with Jo, and she's chosen paint colours and some wallpaper to put back on the wall that was a feature wall that got painted over. So it's really nice. I'm really pleased that she's got her, that she's investing herself and beginning to fall back in love with it. So by the time she moves in October, it's going to look lovely. So I'm really pleased about that. The troll. Why I define someone as a troll is when they've got, I forgot to look actually, when they've got a YouTube channel but they've got no content. But they use their channel to go and put all of the stuff they want to on and on and on and on somebody else's channel. And yes, my videos were, I'm not going to say clickbaity. I didn't do them deliberately for clickbait. I did it because it was like, well, hold on a minute. It was just a thought I had. And you know what I'm like, if I have a thought, I share it. So I hadn't done it deliberately, but of course I'd invited people to comment, and then you get people that, you just get people from the other cult. And it's like, they say we're in a cult, and we say they're in a cult, but he just would not give up. And I was engaging with it, which is what I do. I engage with all of you, and I was engaging with it. I'm going to call it an it, because I don't know whether it was a man or a woman. Well, it was a troll. Perhaps it wasn't it. But in the end, I thought, oh, this is ridiculous. And it was deliberately trying to push my buttons. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. I just thought, I'm going to delete him. But Marie B had also been having had also been talking to him. And I didn't want to delete her comments because that's unfair. But at the same time, her comments are now there referring or responding to somebody that isn't there. So she's welcome to delete her comments if she wants to. But I just thought I'd say that I deleted them. So yeah, my definition of an internet troll is somebody that comes and makes horrible comments on your channel but has no channel. You know, they have no content on theirs. It's like it had got so much to say, it thought it had so much knowledge. Why isn't it sharing it in a YouTube video? That way people might listen to you. The way he was writing, was disengaging. It was so grandiose and arrogant and any other words that you want to use to describe it, that I couldn't engage in the way that he wanted. I wasn't, it's like I turned off to anything that he had to say that may or may not have been important, because he was such a, oh, I nearly said a word I shouldn't say, because he was such a shit. So that's why I deleted him. And so that's what I've done. There's another one on there who I think might be the narcissistic sister. So I haven't deleted that, whatever, and it hasn't come back to me, but I just had a sense of, I can never explain why, but that I just get, there's some stuff goes on for me unconsciously that makes me think, oh, okay, that's you. And I can't pinpoint it or give you any tangible reasons why that would happen, but there's something I'm picking up unconsciously. So I think what I've left on there is the narcissistic sister, but that's okay. I have no idea why she comes and comments on my channel. Oh, apart from she's got a channel that's very small with a very few subscribers. Maybe it's that, I don't know. Anyway, so that's today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not sure I'm going to go and do that maneuver now. Or maybe I will, because I don't want to feel like this. It's shit. I haven't even been down. The hens have got access to outside into the smaller run, and normally I've been letting them out into the bigger run. I've been keeping them contained so that the broody, she's still broody. I drag her out of her corner, push them all outside, so she hasn't got anywhere where she can go and brood. But I can't even go down and do that at the moment. Because I don't want to go down there, because I will probably fall over. or collapse, or whatever you call it. Keel over. I just keel over. If you fall over, it's because you've tripped, I think, isn't it? If you keel over, it's because you're out of balance. And that's me. I'm keeling over at the moment. My younger sister, who is coming later on this week, had some trauma yesterday. I feel for them. I really feel for them. They went for they decided to have a canoe trip on the Dordogne, the river Dordogne. They thought it would be pleasant, and off they went on their canoe. And their daughter gave up after 30 minutes because she just kept getting turned around by the wind and the current, and the dog was crying. But my sister and her husband carried on, and they carried on, and Viv describes them as rapids. Maybe they were, but they ended up going over some rapids and capsizing, and they were near the edge and managed to drag themselves out and empty the boat. But she said there was nowhere we could go to get rescued. I asked her if she'd seen the film Deliverance, and she said yes. John kept saying, grab the oars, grab the oars. So they had to get back in the boat, and they had to row back for 3 hours to get back to where they'd taken the boat from. So she was not happy with the lack of rescue boats going up and down. And I said, well, it's France. It's like there's an assumption that you know what you're doing. And she said, well, we went and hired them. We were given life jackets and whatever, but no instructions. I said, well, that's typical. So I think they were quite traumatised by that. We've talked about it, but actually I would have been fucking traumatised by that. And I know that even though we do the joking and the laughing and the whatever, that is traumatic. It is traumatic. Even in shallow water, it's traumatic. And especially as what you're used to is that you're used to being around civilization where if something had happened, there'd be people around that could help you. And I think it was the trauma for them was that they were in the middle of nowhere and there was no one. That is traumatic, isn't it? So they're going to have to come here for a debriefing, I think. We'll have to give them a debriefing when they get here and a cup of tea and cake. Right, so I'm off to do this manoeuvre and let Mark know that he's coming to supervise. That'll please him. See you when I'm better.